Welcome to Air Engine Research. My website is devoted to designing and building a compressed air motor that can be put in a small vehicle to replace the gasoline or diesel engine. I've been working on these for a number of years, 13 or 14 probably, and I finally decided this past February that I need to pick the best one that I've worked on and go ahead and complete a project completely and put it in a small car and see if I can make it go. Like I say, in February, I thought, well, I need to pick the best one, so I kind of closed my eyes and visualized in my head which of the motors that I've worked on I think were the best. I decided on a 4-cylinder eccentric design, so I kind of sketched it out on a piece of paper and thought, well, I'll have to start from the very basics and kind of build it somehow, so that's what I did. I kind of sat down and drew out a design from things that I had done in the past, and I'm going to sort of use that as a basis to go from. So the very basic I need is a base plate for everything to mount to and a place to start from. So I decided on a 7-inch square base with cylinder mounts on each side, which makes it about 13 inches wide. Now everything will be attached to this as the main component. And I build components more or less and mount that to this base plate on paper to make sure that everything fits together. So the next thing that I worked on was the eccentrics, the main part that rotates and drives the drive shaft. I need 2 of them to make sure that it's balanced. So it's called a 2-plate 4-cylinder eccentric compressed air motor. This is the design of an eccentric. And it's driven by a bearing that rides in the groove, and that bearing is pushed and pulled in order to cause the eccentric to rotate. At first, I was going to have separate push rods for each cylinder, but as time went by, I decided that it would be better to have 2 push cylinders, a cylinder on each end, and have it drive 1 bearing instead of 4 cylinders driving 4 bearings. This is much simpler, and I think it will be more effective in the long run. It takes 2 of them to make a 4-cylinder, so they are put together crisscross, so there are 2 opposed cylinders and 2 opposed cylinders in the opposite direction. Then I need to have valves, so I decided on which valves I would like to use, and they're the ones that I developed at the very, very end of last year. I've had problem with valves leaking ever since I started trying to build an engine. And I think I've gotten to the point where these are almost foolproof and will seal. I don't use any oil or any lubrication or coolant or anything. Everything is put together with sealed bearings, and I use a ultra high molecular dense fiber plastic for the piston, and I use a leather seal that is saturated with oil. That doesn't need to be oiled anymore. Or if it ever does, it would just be sliding through the air. But I have to have 8 valves altogether. 4 of them would be for the intake, and 4 of them would be for the exhaust. And they would mount underneath the plate. And then I had to make a set 8 valve stems, which I've shown you in the past, but I will show you again. There's a small leather seal that goes around the 2 pieces once they're inserted into this valve body. The rotor that will be driving the valves is a 2-piece rotor. I'm not exactly sure if they're going to be as I've designed it right here. That I might have to make a few changes on when we actually see the timing of the eccentric when it's actually put together. I can't really predict that, I don't think. But we shall see. I can always work on it and get that put together correctly. So the first thing that I show is the 7-inch square base mount with the pistons, the push rods, and the eccentrics all mounted on the plate. The valves are also on there, but I'm pretty sure it's difficult for you to see those. They are mounted underneath the plate instead of on top of it. And then I had to come up with how do I get air to the cylinders and to the valves. So the next picture is it shows 4, but there's 8 valves. One sets up, the intake is the first one underneath the plate. The exhaust is the one underneath the valve that we just put on. So there's 8 of them there. Had a little problem with my camera on the video there. It just shut off on me, so I guess I'll end the video. For you new viewers, if you're interested in what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe, but be sure to press the little bell symbol so that you get notified, and also make sure that it says all notifications. And for you long-time subscribers, thanks again for checking in, and I'll keep you posted. As soon as I get a few more things put together, I'll start showing some of the actual building process. So till later, thanks again, and see you next time.